You are overthinking your speech structure. Here's why. Did you know that nearly 75% of people experience some form of anxiety before public speaking? It's true. This fear often leads us to overthink our speeches, worrying about every detail and trying to create the perfect structure. But here's a shocker. Research shows that only 7% of communication is based on the words we say. The rest? It's all about tone, body language, and connection. So, why do we focus so much on structure? The truth is, overthinking can make your speech dull and lifeless. Instead of connecting with your audience, you might end up reading a script. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful strategies to help you break free from this trap. You'll discover why storytelling is more impactful than memorizing scripts and how trusting the moment can elevate your speeches. Ready to stop overthinking and start engaging? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The Trap of the Perfect Outline. Why it holds you back. We've all been there. You spend hours fine-tuning every detail of your speech, from the introduction to the conclusion. You obsess over the transitions and try to ensure everything fits together perfectly. But here's the truth: most audiences don't notice your outline. What they care about is your delivery, your passion, and how well you connect with them. According to a study by Forbes, 55% of communication is non-verbal. That means your body language, facial expressions, and tone are far more critical than the flawless structure you're stressing over. If you're too focused on getting every point exactly where it belongs, you'll likely lose your authenticity, which is what keeps people engaged. Instead of aiming for perfection, focus on flexibility. A Stanford University study found that speakers who allowed their ideas to flow naturally were rated as more engaging and likable than those who rigidly stuck to their outline. That's because a rigid structure can sound rehearsed and robotic. Your audience will connect better with a speaker who feels real and in the moment. Think of your outline as a guide, not a script. Use it to steer the conversation, but don't let it dictate every move you make. Your energy, spontaneity, and connection with the audience are what truly matter. The perfect outline? It's overrated. Chapter 2: Flow over Formula. Tapping into your natural speaking rhythm. We all have a natural rhythm when we speak. When you're in a casual conversation, you don't think about structure, do you? You just speak, and it flows. So, why should public speaking be any different? A lot of people get caught up in using speech formulas. They think the key to success is following a strict format: introduction, 3 points, conclusion. But real-life communication doesn't work that way. It's more fluid, dynamic, and engaging when you allow yourself to be flexible. According to Harvard Business Review, audiences remember only about 10% of the information shared in a formal presentation. What they remember is how you made them feel. Focusing on flow instead of a rigid formula can help you engage your audience on an emotional level, not just an intellectual one. Think about famous TED Talks. Speakers like Brené Brown and Simon Sinek don't just stick to a formula, they let their message flow, often adjusting in real time based on audience reactions. The result? Their talks go viral, connecting with millions. Try this: when preparing your speech, avoid over-polishing. Know your key points, but don't obsess over every single word. By allowing your speech to flow naturally, you'll sound more conversational and authentic. People don't want to feel like they're being lectured, they want to feel like they're part of a conversation. Chapter 3: Stop memorizing, start engaging, connecting with your audience. Here's a surprising fact: most audiences don't care if you memorize your speech word for word. In fact, trying to memorize can be a huge mistake. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that speakers who focus too much on memorization often sound less genuine, losing that critical connection with the audience. When you're overly focused on remembering your lines, you miss opportunities to engage with your listeners. You become so wrapped up in what you should say that you forget to pay attention to how the audience is reacting. Are they nodding in agreement? Are they laughing? Are they confused? This feedback is valuable, but if you're stuck in your head, you won't notice it. The best speakers are those who can adjust on the fly. According to Carmine Gallo, author of Talk Like TED, the ability to improvise and respond to audience cues is one of the most important skills for a speaker. He explains that, when you engage with the audience, you create a dialogue, even if they're not talking back. That engagement is what leaves a lasting impression. Instead of memorizing, focus on mastering your main message. Know your points, but let the words come naturally. This will free you up to connect with your audience in real time. And trust me, they'll appreciate the difference. In a survey by Toastmasters, 76% of respondents said they preferred speakers who spoke from the heart, rather than those who appeared rehearsed or robotic. People want to feel a connection, not listen to a perfectly memorized script. Remember, the goal isn't to be flawless, it's to be real. Let go of the need to memorize and focus on connecting. You'll be amazed at how much more impactful your speech becomes. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe. Join our community for more insights on becoming a great speaker. Chapter 4, From Scripts to Stories, The Secret to Spontaneity. One of the most common mistakes speakers make is relying too heavily on scripts. Scripts make you feel safe. You know exactly what to say and when to say it. But here's the problem, scripts can drain the life out of your speech. They make you sound robotic and detached. Instead, try this, focus on storytelling. When you tell a story, you're more relaxed. You aren't worrying about each word. You're just sharing an experience. According to cognitive neuroscientist Dr. Uri Hassan, stories engage more parts of the brain than facts alone. Your listeners actually sync up with you, experiencing the story with you. That's powerful. In a study by Princeton University, researchers found that when a speaker told a story, the audience's brain activity mirrored the speaker's. This connection creates a stronger bond between the speaker and the audience than if they were just listing information. So, forget about sticking to the script. Think of your speech as a series of stories, personal anecdotes, relatable examples, or even metaphors. Stories stick. In fact, a Stanford study found that people are 22 times more likely to remember a fact when it's wrapped in a story. That's a huge win if your goal is to leave a lasting impression. Another advantage? Stories allow for spontaneity. If you see your audience is really engaged, you can dive deeper into a point, add more details, or throw in some humor. Stories create room for flexibility, which means you can adjust to the mood in the room. That's something a script can't do. The next time you're preparing a speech, ditch the rigid script and focus on stories. Your speech will come to life, and your audience will thank you for it. Chapter 5, Trust the Moment, Mastering the Art of Improvisation. Improvisation might sound scary. After all, who wants to be caught without the right words? But here's the thing, trusting yourself in the moment can lead to the most authentic, powerful speeches. Studies have shown that speakers who incorporate moments of improvisation into their talks are perceived as more engaging and charismatic. In fact, according to a research paper in the Journal of Public Speaking, audience members rated improvisational speakers 18% higher in likability and 23% higher in confidence than those who stuck rigidly to their planned speeches. Improvisation doesn't mean you're winging it. It means you're prepared, but also open to the energy in the room. You're not locked into a fixed script. You're listening to your audience, adjusting your pace, and responding to their reactions. One way to get comfortable with improvisation is to practice speaking off the cuff. Challenge yourself to talk for 5 minutes about any random topic. This builds your ability to think on your feet. Also, remember that it's okay not to know everything. If someone asks a question you don't have an answer to, say, "That's a great question. I'll get back to you on that." It shows honesty and humility. Improvisation also allows for more creativity. As Carmine Gallo says in his book The Storyteller's Secret, great stories are often born in the moment. When you trust yourself to adapt, you can make your speech even better than you had planned. Trusting the moment doesn't just make you a better speaker, it makes you a more present one. Your audience can feel that, and it draws them in. So, the next time you're speaking, let go of the need to control every second. Trust yourself, trust the moment, and you'll be surprised at how much better your speech will be. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks to enhance your public speaking skills. Join our community and start your journey to becoming a great speaker.